Hello, welcome back to another episode of Make Marketing Yours. And today we have a very special guest here with us, and she is Jillian O'Keefe. And she is an Instagram specialist and actually help female entrepreneurs to gain visibility online and especially to grow their tribe on Instagram. So she is an expert on Instagram. I love to hear more about that. So Jillian, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here. Yes, so I absolutely love Instagram. I like to tell the story of how I got started because I have loved Instagram before I could even use it. In the United States, we did not get Instagram on iPhone until 2012, and I had an Android and Instagram started in 2010. So for 2 years, I couldn't get access to it, and I was obsessed with it, and I wanted to get on, and I wanted to use it. And it actually is the reason why I ended up getting an iPhone. One of the reasons why I got an iPhone, because I finally have access to it. Now it's across the board, but so my love for Instagram isn't just like started yesterday. This is a long-term relationship we're talking about. So what I do is I work with clients one-on-one, and I have some digital products, but I work with clients to help them identify where their ideal clients and customers are hiding on Instagram, how to find them, how to use the hashtags to target them. I help them to find or to write the right type of captions, the right type of photos, how to use stories right, all of those, anything that you can think of on Instagram, I help them do. Engagement, that's huge. Because I believe that Instagram can be won over, the algorithm can be won over with the right type of tools and work that you're doing. Nothing spamming, nothing robotic. It's all you, it's all authentic, but it takes work and time. So that's where I help all my clients.
That's good to know, because I think a lot of people actually into the numbers, like the followers, more than the engagement. Yeah, because I think engagement is more important, So yeah, we're going to talk about that later. Yeah. So I know that you're involved in hashtag body positivity movement. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have struggled with my weight on and off for my entire life. And probably around 35 or so, I started saying, you know what, why don't I start loving myself the way I am? I started following a bunch of body positivity influencers on Instagram myself, started growing and connecting there. And so I used my Instagram platform for Instagram and to share my love of body positivity, because I really want women, especially women, men too, but especially women, to feel like they're good enough, they're worthy enough right now. They don't need to change their body. It's okay if they want to, exercise or eat more vegetables. Like, all of that's okay, but don't stop yourself from enjoying life simply because you're heavier, or your arms are flabby, or whatever you want to say. Enjoy it. Put on the tank top, wear the bathing suit, all of it. So it's near and dear to my heart. It's kind of a passion project behind not really behind the scenes, but it's something that I like to do that makes me feel really good helping other women in that way.
That is really good, because this the only thing that I can't do is on diet, because I love food and I need the food to maintain my energy level. I just can't be on diet. But people say, oh, if you eating this, you're getting so much. I was just like, forget about it. I just want to enjoy daily life, enjoy myself. I want to eat what I want to eat. I want to do what I want to do. Excellent. Very good movement.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I love it.
Yeah. So as an Instagram strategist, because you've looked through a lot of different Instagram accounts, so what are the common problems that you see from like female entrepreneurs, like Instagram account? Can you give us a little bit of tips?
Sure. So one of the major things that I see, and you had mentioned it a little bit ago, about everybody wants to hit a certain number of followers, and that number is usually 10K. On Instagram, once you hit 10K followers, they give you a swipe up feature in stories, which is wonderful. Don't get me wrong. However, you don't need that swipe up feature if you are doing a really good job of using the right calls to action, putting the right type of links in your bio, talking about the right types of things, providing value. So the number one thing I see is people obsessing over that 10K. and
Yeah.
that isn't important. Like you said, obsessing about your engagement is what's important. And there is a rhyme, or there can be a rhyme and a reason to that engagement. um, Liking in their hashtags, following the right people, engaging with your within your comments and within the people who like your photos. All of that is going to tell the algorithm that you are somebody that they should pay attention to, and they're going to show your image to more people. The other thing that I tend to notice is that women especially seem to get really caught up in having the best photos, and if they don't have the best photos, they don't post. And if you ever look at my feed, especially right now because I'm kind of having fun with reels, but if you look at my feed, none of my photos are professional. I can't even, I don't even think I've used any of professional photos because I've never had a photo shoot done just me, just, some with my family, but never just me. But my photos are selfies. My photos are things that my husband has taken of me, or that I set up a tripod and I took of myself. None of them are professional and none of them are amazing. But because they are me, they are authentically me, and the captions that I write with them are vulnerable and engaging and value driven, people don't care about the perfect photo. So if you feel like you can't post on Instagram so you have that brand photo shoot, forget that. Forget
Yeah.
that notion, and post that selfie that you love of yourself and just put a great caption with it. Um, what's going to get you ahead on Instagram isn't the pretty photo, it's the posting content that people want to read and engaging with the people who read it. So
Right.
that's my soapbox.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, when they come to you, usually the first thing, what do they want you to do for them? What do they want to achieve? Like the first goal?
I could say probably almost, because when I start working with someone, I send them a questionnaire and they fill
Yep.
this out. And one of the questions is, what is the first goal that you would like to accomplish with working together? And almost all of them say more followers. And
Mm,
there's nothing wrong with that. More followers is wonderful. But what I would love for people to understand is that it doesn't need to be more followers. It should be more engagement.
yep.
So if you're normally getting 20 likes on a picture, which if your following is only 600, 20 likes on a picture is a decent amount of likes. That's okay, because those people are interested. Engage with them, send them DMs, talk with them, build a relationship, because that is how you're going to eventually get them to become raving fans that want to buy from you, who are ready to go over to your member vault and check out your freebies and your paid products, and then eventually work with you, your VIP offers. So stop worrying about the numbers and start worrying about how you're engaging with the people who already are there and who already care about what you're saying.
Excellent. So, how do people actually increase the organic engagement? Because I think if they don't want to pay for the advertising, is there any other way they can actually organically like grow the engagement?
Absolutely. Excuse me. Absolutely. So there's a couple of things. The first one is using the right types of hashtags. And I actually have a freebie that talks about that. So in the freebie, I have a 50-minute training that it's a rundown about how you find the right hashtags. There's also some hashtag banks in there that I've accumulated and I'm sharing.
Yeah.
But want to find hashtags where your clients are, or where your customers are, or the people who are going to interested in what you're saying. You don't want to go. I like to use the example of a Young Living representative, which is a oil company,
Yeah.
essential oil company. So a lot of times, if you look at the images that women or men who are Young Living representatives, they use hashtags like hashtag Young Living or hashtag Oil Life. And while those are great, the problem is that those are full of other representatives. That is not where your customers are. Usually, if you're going to want to find customers for Young Living, you're going to want to think of things that they'd be interested in. So maybe Low Talks Life,
Mm,
or I don't know. I can't think of anything else off the top of
yeah.
my head, but put yourself in their shoes. If you were interested in finding out what or where to buy essential oils,
Yeah.
what would you search on Instagram? So do that. That's the number one thing to start getting engagement and finding new people. The second thing is actually going into hashtags and liking and commenting on other people's posts. These are not necessarily people that follow you, and they're not necessarily people that are going to follow you. You just want to start activity. That is what Instagram has always been built on, community.
Yeah.
So, and I have a course too that goes through how to properly engage on Instagram. But it's 15, usually about 15 minutes a day. I like to spend one day. I usually spend an hour just engaging in all those. That is what starts to bring people in. And you notice that when you look at your analytics and your reach is increasing and your, can't think of the other ones, but those numbers in there start to turn green. When you see that, you know that you're doing the right stuff and you're bringing new people to your account. Sometimes they'll follow you, but more than likely, if they don't follow you, they're going to like some of your stuff and engage with you back.
Right. So do you like recommend, for example, like for someone who just started, maybe about like 30 minutes a day, sort of like doing the engagement activity?
Actually, I recommend 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
If you have more time, by all means, spend it there. But I like to say 15 minutes because we're all really busy, and it's 50, even dedicating 15 minutes to this can feel overwhelming. So if you take this is how I do it and this is exactly what I do for my clients. I spend 5 minutes scrolling through my opening feed, and I'm literally just sitting there scrolling at a normal, not super fast pace, liking photos. I'm just scrolling and liking. Then I will pick a hashtag that where my ideal clients or customers, or my clients, ideal clients and customers are. And I will scroll and like, and I set timers for everything so that I stay on task. Set another timer for 5 minutes and I scroll and like, and just go through, scroll and like very slowly, not super fast, because if you go fast, then Instagram might think it's spam or a robot. Then for my last 5 minutes, I set the timer again and I go into, it ends up being about 3 accounts, but I go into accounts that are people who I would want to follow me back or who I think could be a great client or customer for me. And I like 5 or 6 of their images and I comment on 2 to 3. And these are real comments. They're not like, hey, or drop in a smiley face, whatever. These are either commenting on the caption, responding to their question in their caption, or talking about something in the picture. Maybe they're wearing a super cute dress or something. Then you say, oh my God, the dress is adorable. Where did you get it? You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Real, genuine comments. So this person knows that you are not just a robot. You're not just there to, you know, drop and leave. You're there to actually build a relationship. And that is exactly what I do 5 days a week for my clients, 15 minutes, and then one day a week I spend an hour. And that is a little bit more involved than just what I explained.
Wow, such a good tips. Like, yeah, I don't actually set the time to go through my Instagram feed. I just like do it when I have time, but I keep like the posting every day. I still keep posting every day. So, yeah, that's the best I can do because you seems like you have
Yeah.
to spend a bit of time, every day on there. So, a side note, I'm using Young Living as well, so I love it. But I'm not like actively promoted, but I do have posts like about Young Living. So,
Yeah.
um,
So,
yep. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, I love Young Living. I have one of my clients is a Young Living representative. And so we went through and found the right hashtags for her. So yeah, they're good. They're really good. She
Excellent.
sent me some of
Excellent.
their oils.
Good to know. Because I can see a lot of like Instagram feed because I can see a lot of successful story from Instagram. They're more like a product-based business. So for service-based business like consulting, like coaching, how do they actually get more clients or more leads from Instagram? Do they more like for brand awareness or actually can bring in leads?
Yes, you can absolutely find leads on Instagram. Actually, I can say I'm a service-based business mostly. That's how I've been for 6 years. Digital products are very new to me. And I can say that my referrals, or I'm sorry, my clients and customers come from one or two places, either referrals from past clients or Instagram. Um, I think that it's very, I honestly, from my perspective, I think it is easier for a service-based business to find leads on Instagram than it is for a product-based, because product-based, it's tougher to bring value. Like when you're selling earrings, it's harder to bring value to your customers because they may want your earrings, but they don't really necessarily always care about how they're made. Where if you are a service-based business, I people want to work with me or buy my stuff because they want to know how to engage, and I can show them that. So my value can be one post about this is how you engage in your opening feed to make it actually effective, and not just you scrolling mindlessly and forgetting, an hour later you're like, oh crap, I just lost a ton of time. So it's easier for me, I find that it is easier for me to serve value, provide value to my customers, my followers, by being a service-based business. So bottom line, to answer your question, is I think that if you're a service-based business, to provide value to those people and not always have it be promotional value. And what I mean by that is share something without expecting them to go to your link in your bio or to buy something from you. Have it just be, here's a hack from my industry, and ask them, if you put it into place, come back and let me know how it went. Something like that.
Yeah.
There, you absolutely need to promote on Instagram, but I don't think that that has to be the primary source or primary post. I think that a nice mix is what you actually want to see on a service-based Instagram feed.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know. So I know that you actually help your client to build a community on Instagram. So can you tell us a little bit, like, how do you do that, or can you give us some tips?
Yeah. So for myself, when I am posting, I love stories. I have loved stories since they've come to Instagram. I was obsessed with Snapchat, but I always hated the fact that I had to go to Snapchat to post something, a video, and then post a image on Instagram. So when they combine, I mean, they're not actually combined, they're two separate entities. But when Instagram introduced stories, I was sold. I was on board right from the start. So my favorite thing to do is in stories, I actually have a content planner for myself, and I every day write out the topics that I'm going to talk about. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't other things that I share in there. I love to share my daily morning routine, and I like to talk, share pictures of my kids, or if we're outside playing, I'll take a quick snapshot of that. But I like to every day, or at least as frequently as possible, go in and talk about some piece of value. Yesterday, and it doesn't have to be specifically about your business. So yesterday in my stories, I talked about being and feeling very overwhelmed as a mother because we start school next week, and my husband works full time. He's working from home right now, but he works full time. So the brunt of the daily, like during the day care, falls to me on top of running my business. And I was just talking about how I feel so overwhelmed, and, what I'm doing and how I'm handling it. And that's value. That makes you a real person. People can relate to that. And it also attracts, if people like you and they like that they feel connected to you, they're going to engage with you, but they're also going to share you with their friends. And that's what you want, right? So the same type of thing can happen in your feed. It may not be as informal, because stories are meant to be super informal, like you're talking to a friend. They're not meant to be perfect. In your feed, you want to be a little bit more formal. You're going to have perfectly formed paragraphs. Your grammar is going to be great, and not perfect, but you're going to use punctuation and stuff like that. So um honestly, that is my number one tip. Actually, I have two number one tips. They're tied. The providing value in stories and in your feed, and then the engagement. If you do those two things, your Instagram will start to grow. It may not be, at the speed of light, but it's going to grow. There's just no way around it as long as you're consistent.
Yeah, such a good advice, because I think it's like not about business all the time. People want to connect with you. People want to
Yes.
know what you do behind the scene. Not
Yes.
only about your business, maybe your life, what you do like every day. So it's really good. Um, One last question is, it's actually to do my own personal experience, because I think
Yes.
on Instagram, a lot of people actually use robots, to reply, to like, And then I start to seeing a lot of like, I actually stuck on that like followers. One day I can get like maybe 10 more followers, but then the other day I've got like 10 people unfollow me. So is it normal? Like, is it happen to like every account?
Yes, it is very, very normal. It happens to me. It happens to every single one of my clients. And it is so, so frustrating. So that if you, there's nothing you can do about it
Yeah.
because, one, you have people following you, like you said, because they're a robot. They're just trying to do the follow for follow, meaning they follow you, hoping you'll follow them back. And that's their preference. It doesn't work. Instagram will catch them and penalize them eventually. But taking the time to be a real person, sharing behind the scenes, like you said, and actually engaging yourself and not having a robot do it, you'll eventually get to a point where hopefully you're gaining more followers than you're. So, you'll have a day where you might lose 10 followers, but you gained 15. So, you're plus 5. Um, and if it takes a while to get to that point, don't worry. It is so, so normal. I wish it wasn't, but people follow you and they're like, okay, she sounds like somebody I'd be interested in. And then they realize, okay, that one post was really good, but I don't really care about the rest of what she says. So
Yeah.
they unfollow you and don't take it personally.
Good to
I mean,
know.
unless it's your mom unfollowing you. If it's your mom, then you might want to question what's going on there.
Yeah, good, very good to know. So for the people who are listening to this podcast, I will actually put the link of Jillian's freebies in the show notes. Jillian, I asked like all my guests, like, would you be able to offer a discount for one of your pay product, or can you like talk to us a little bit about your pay product?
Absolutely. So I mentioned it a little bit ago. Um, my Engage Like a Boss, um, my Engage Like a Boss course it teaches you exactly what I do for my clients. So it takes you from, optimizing your bio so that you're more easily found in the search function of Instagram to actually applying, like I mentioned, the 15-minute sprint, and then I call it the Engage Like a Boss hour from start to finish. It is normally $37, but I would love to offer your listeners a 20% discount on that. Which would make it, I believe it's like 29.40 or 60 or something. So just under $30. And that code to grab that is podcast listener, all in caps and all one word. Um, and I would love to, there's directions in there to DM me on Instagram, and I really, truly, so I'd love, love, love if your listeners grab that, and so I can help them out.
Thank you very much for your offer and for your discount. And I love your freebies because I've downloaded it myself. So I love the hashtag. Yep. So for those who are listening to this podcast, please go to the link that I post below and download it. You will love it, definitely. So thank you so much, Julian, for today. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, and thank you for having me, Vanessa.
Thank you. And I talk to you soon. Bye.